welcome to April's Garage. Tyler is known to send a lot of hate down Stellantis' throat and Tesla. But
it's a low-hanging fruit. I like to grab the, yes.
You do. Mm-hmm. But now VW's in some hot water over there in Germany across the pond. They're having a little trouble.
Yes, we were talking about this and we got into a little bit of a lover's quarrel, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, the big news coming out is VW is telling the labor chiefs in Germany, where they're at, brace yourselves, we're going to close 3 plants in Germany.
Which is really serious. I feel like Germany's like the head of like the standard for luxury, beautiful cars.
For automotive manufacturing
just in
quality.
The entire world.
Agreed.
And now it's getting a little hot.
Well, apparently these plants aren't efficient or as efficient as others, including, I guess, us in the United States. We are more efficient building cars than these German plants, where they're blaming unions and all the stuff, but union problems that, you can debate forever on the pluses and minuses of that.
And the thing with unions is that there's so many union workers that they can go on strike. Well, on December 1st, they're deciding if they're going to, and that could be a really big deal.
It could, but Volkswagen has been picking up the pieces ever since Dieselgate, where they, cheated on their diesel emissions and had to recall a bunch of cars, and lost a lot of goodwill with people in that, and just since the Dieselgate had been so bad for them, like their cars were mass polluters and sort of cheating dyno testing to not appear so, they've gone really hard on electric, really, really hard.
But they were a little late to the game, maybe, right?
They were. So they're coming out with their ID products, their Buzz products, and they could have started with the bus, the ID bus. But they didn't. They started out with some other things, some ID whatever that nobody's going to buy. They could have led with the really cool bus, but they haven't. And the bus is,
you just said really cool bus.
This is where we're fighting. So
nothing.
I have a deposit on an ID Buzz. It was supposed to show up in October.
So bad.
Well, October is about to be done, and there's no ID Buzz here for me. But I put the deposit down before I learned all the specs. So
how much is the deposit?
It was $1,000 for the deposit,
okay.
And it was the base price on them is $60,000 up to $70,000 with options. A lot.
Well, 50, 60. Base 50, 60 with some options.
No, it's 60, 70, I think, for these first little bits coming in. So, and the range.
That's for the Scout, you're right. Okay.
The range is 234 miles, which is pretty low. Below most people's comfort zones.
They have to have range extenders. Like these buses, there's so much room to put extra extenders and batteries in it. Like you have to be able to make that an option.
Not really, because they made it a 7-seat car, so you have 3 full rows of seating, so you can't put in a big battery in the trunk. Very expensive.
It's grossing me out.
And 234 miles of range.
So bad.
Really fun, cool, cute thing that's got a lot of neat features.
What? Name one neat feature on it.
It has a massager,
The seat massager,
so,
that's it.
But it's the VW bus is back, and it looks very faithful to the original.
It looks
like
a generic.
You never liked retro throwbacks.
It looks like a minivan. This is not a retro throwback.
You don't like the Z8.
Throwback is the Z8.
That's a retro throwback.
With the hard top, it's very sexy.
But and
you got the Alpina wheels, so
you don't like PT Cruisers. You don't like the retro Thunderbirds. You don't like SSR, HHRs. You don't like
the Buzz for you.
Okay.
In a better way. The classic V-style shaping in the front with the two-tone. Stop it. Why wouldn't you do that styling on the bus? What is stopping you? Who in that boardroom made the decision not to do that iconic front end?
They got pretty close. It's sort of a wide V. And, it's like childbearing hip V. But they had to put the bumper in there with the crash zones and everything else.
No,
it's good looking.
2 stainless strips in a V, and then the 2-tone color, and then what would really make it exciting is the safari roof. On the 2 sides, the windows, on the glass, on the top sides. That would get everyone's head turning and say, hey, look at that sexy bus.
That would be fun. But this isn't the car that's going to save Volkswagen. Not at that price point.
Could be if I designed it.
Not with that range. it's going to be sort of a party trick, sort of a cutesy gimmick car.
I feel like it's gonna be cute for the week it comes out, and then we're gonna be like, not that exciting.
Right, and that's why I feel like if I buy it, I won't have this honeymoon period where I could get my money out of it like I did with the Tesla Cybertruck.
True.
It'll immediately be worth like $40,000. I'll lose 20 grand the moment it drives off the lot, and I'm not sure I want to experience an ID buzz and have that happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. So that's Volkswagen's when it comes to their current outlook and their world of electrics.
They did acquire something else that's going electric.
Yeah.
They
Scout.
got the name Scout, I think in 2021, and it looks pretty good.
Yes, they just unveiled it. Yes. It is glorious looking.
I wanted the front headlights to look like the International Harvester logo, because it almost does a little bit, but I think they should have really played up on that. And I really think all the graphics and rally pack and all that stuff like that is going to look really sweet on it. If they go there. We don't know. It's not coming out until 2027.
It seems a little too good to be true, because it's beating prices on everybody. And it doesn't seem possible they're able to deliver all of this for around $50,000. And they're going to build it in the U.S. They're going to build it in their South Carolina plants. You get this level of off-road, broody-looking machine with a big electric range, a range extender, a nice quality interior.
Why do they have
all
helicopter
for,
handles
on
it?
Around $50,000. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see how this is going to be possible, but maybe they'll be able to pull it off, and then it will be a dominating force, I imagine, in the EV world, and Rivian, Lucid, sayonara.
So I don't know how wild this
or Avita
is.
Z, sorry, German. Well, it's American, so see you later. I don't know, whatever.
That's Kansas, right?
Yeah, okay.
I don't know how wild this is, but they are skipping the middleman. They're skipping the dealers.
Yes.
And so they're selling these direct to
That's a big deal.
buyers.
So obviously, with Volkswagen struggling in sales and wanting to close plants, the dealers are also struggling because their products are not, they're not really keeping up with the times. They've gotten rid of most of their cars now, which were the bread and butter. Obviously, cars don't sell as much anymore, Passat and things. And not a lot of new and exciting products, and the ID Buzz, too expensive for most people to buy.
Yeah.
So, they get Scout, and it would be an amazing thing for Volkswagen dealers to have their own separate Scout dealership next door or integrated into Volkswagen. But they're like, no, we're selling it direct like Tesla.
Are you
no
happy
middleman.
about this, or do you think this is the way everyone's going? Because I hate going into a dealership because I know that they're going to target me. There's a girl, we're going to talk her over and just talk her up, way up, and just screw her over pretty much.
Yeah, I think that this is probably a good move on their part to differentiate Scout from Volkswagen. Because, how do I put this nicely? Most Volkswagen dealerships are kind of trashy.
I say like a crunchy granola
yeah, I mean, it's not all of them. Obviously, I'm generalizing quite a bit, but it's...
I think it's great. I hate going into dealers. And what's the deal with your salesman? Like, oh, I have to talk to the manager, and then they disappear for like 20 minutes to ask their manager a question. And I feel like they're just icing you. They're making you nervous.
They need to poop.
They're playing. They need to poop.
Poop, yeah.
Is what it is.
Well, I guess that was for me when I was a car salesman.
Oh.
No, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of different reasons where they're trying to figure out the deal and how it would work and all that stuff.
It's like a job to go in and buy a car because you have to play that dance and that game and come back, walk out the door, they let you leave. Oh, I'm going to come back and let me get your information. And it's just this weird thing that doesn't need to be there.
Yes, but the problem with not having a dealership control all this is a dealership is very responsive to price. They have a car that's an aged unit that's been sitting on their lot for 6 months. They're going to cut bait and let it go. Versus once Harvester, once Scout, whatever these are calling International, once they get all the cars delivered to everybody that wants them in the very beginning, and then they start building up inventory, then they really have to figure out their pricing very quickly. Tesla has slashed prices on cars to get them moving, like the MSRP is making the lower, not incentivizing like $2,000 off or 0% financing or whatever. And Tesla has struggled with this to where they're piled up with cars on their lot with their direct sales method. So that's going to be the big problem, is if they're going to be reactive enough as a dealer would to moving inventory.
Right. But when you go through a dealer, dealers can mark up above MSRP, where I feel like directly from the company, you can't
Right.
do that. So
Right.
that's a positive when it first comes out.
But they can also, when something's been sitting for a long time, they will cut it loose cheap. So it's bad when the cars are in demand and really popular, where they mark them up over MSRP because it's an in-demand thing. Let's say the Bronco Raptor, for example,
Right.
which was something that was selling for $50,000 over MSRP. But now they've gone through everybody that wants them. And they're sitting on dealer lots,
Right.
and now they're being discounted to $10,000, $20,000 off MSRP.
Right.
And this big swing, which I don't feel like a brand new person to direct sales like Volkswagen will be able to figure this out and be able to do this efficiently.
Right.
But who knows? We'll see.
Do you like the Scout?
I like the ID Buzz better.
Are you what? Seriously, right now? The ID Buzz doesn't
We've
look
already-
like a
we've-
real car.
we've
It looks like
talked
a
about
toy
this.
car.
We've
Like,
talked
it looks
about
like you
this.
go to a kid's store and buying a toy car. This
That's
is
the
sexy.
point.
Did you see the interior of the Scout?
It's very
The
pretty.
oh,
It's very pretty.
it's gorgeous.
Well,
This said it's above the Bronco, where like it's like a similar boxy, but the interior sets it apart.
you go put your $100 deposit down on your Scout
going
and wait a
to,
couple of years.
actually.
I'll get my ID
Right
Buzz
now.
in, and
It's so gross.
I guess we
you can
can.
sleep in your ID Buzz outside. Okay.
She's just pretending. I hope you're pretending. Thank you so much for watching.
They're ugly.
I need a hug.
They need to look old
need a hug.
school. Sorry.
I'm
It's
sorry
really
too.
ugly,
I'm
though.
very sorry. Let's never fight like
You
this
really
again.
think they're cool?
Yeah. Everybody's cringing right now. They're cringing hard.